Sup everybody, it's Dimes. Remember my winter Victorian? Well, we're going to be decorating the interior of it. Will. Instead of well, I said will. Again, this is the kind of quality you can expect from my channel. And I'm just going to leave it in, because why not? We're going to be real here, folks. We've got to keep it real. That's my motto as of today. As of 5 seconds ago, that's my motto now. So obviously starting off with the kitchen. Now, this isn't a very typical Victorian decoration. Well, it is. I am going to pick Victorian items and things like that. However, this is obviously open plan, and most Victorian houses were not open plan. They had quite small rooms and a large kitchen. But I do cut this room off because I felt like the open plan wasn't quite working how I wanted. Even though the living room was set up a bit strangely, but this is the layout I decided to go with. And I basically do cut off this room later. But you'll see. Why am I giving spoilers away? I don't know, because I don't know what else to talk about, probably. That's probably part of the reason. So, as with all my builds, there are a lot of changes that happen. In between what you're seeing now and the finished product. There's a few things that kind of go wrong. I think you can see outside, if you look at the little gazebo outside, the little trellis fell through the stairs. So I do delete that. Things like that. I mean, you can still have it there with move objects on, but because people don't always have move objects on, I know I don't, I tend to try not to rely on move objects on that much. However, there are a few items in this build that need move objects on to work properly. So yes, keep that in mind. That column there on the right hand side of the tiles there, oh sorry, left hand side of the tile. I know my left from my right. Don't you sass me. The left hand side of the tile there, the one just there, that kind of tends to disappear in my screenshots because I have move objects off when I went and took my photos, so I apologize for that. So you do need move objects on probably to work this lot in the way I intended. I don't follow my own advice though, so this is where I decided to close off the living room. Yes, the living room from the kitchen and the dining room. And I feel like it works a lot better this way. Now, of course, because it's a Victorian house and it's a winter themed house, obviously I'm building in build mode, so it doesn't look wintry at the moment outside. I apologize for that. The atmosphere is ruined. But basically it's just easier to build in build mode, especially if you don't want to budget, so that's always good. But yeah, because you can obviously see the Christmas tree there, because it's a winter themed home, I have decorated the house exterior and the house interior in holiday themes. So that's the big theme here. Mostly the living room, a little bit of the upstairs, not so much the kitchen or bedrooms. I basically went with what I would do in real life, and at least at my house we don't really decorate our bedrooms in holiday themes. Mostly the more communal areas, and the kitchen tends to get a little bit overlooked. There is a cornucopia there. Now that pot rack I have to delete because it interferes with the oven, the use of the oven and the stove. So the thing is that I did push it back over the kitchen island, and when I did that, then they wouldn't use the benches. So I was a bit screwed, to be honest. I basically just deleted it. I didn't keep the pot rack in the end, which is a bit of a shame because it looks pretty cool. But messing out with rugs, messing out. That's not what I meant to say. Messing about is kind of what I meant to say. Messing about with rugs. I will say I do love these new chairs, the lounge chairs that go into the corner of rooms. They're awesome. You need move objects on to work that curtain because it is essentially it was essentially standing in the middle of nowhere, but it's up against two walls. I felt like the curtain really pushed push that room together. I have all these terms, they come up into my head. I think about them rationally and they don't make any sense, but that's just the way it's gonna be. That's the way this voiceover is. That's the way my voiceovers are in general. Mostly me grappling for the right word and then coming up with the wrong word and saying it anyway. So there I was debating as to whether I wanted to make the island a bit longer, but then I felt the three tiled island is probably, I don't know, fits quite well, even though there's quite a little bit of room on the sides and that. But I do fill up that. Here I was undecided, so I kept switching between the living room and the kitchen. Usually I decorate one room at a time. This time I just had ideas and kept going, oh, maybe I'll change. There I couldn't fit the presents anywhere. I figure come Christmas time, I will just leave them in the middle of the living room, so they can open those there, or I can move the tree around a little bit. But for the interest of having the tree nice and big in the center, I made the door next to it pretty big as well. So I don't know, I can always make that door smaller and then put the presents next to where the door is. Put the one tile door instead of the two tile door. I will say that this build is very fitting at the moment for Australia because it is winter at the moment. It is cold and wintry and not so nice. It has been raining all day today where I am. And I've said it before, but it's not always happy fun times in the sun times in Australia. It's going very fast. There's so much detail that goes into each room. And the rooms almost look done, but they're not. Unfortunately, that little nutcracker... that's a funny word. The nutcracker in the corner there that you just saw... he didn't last. There he is. He didn't last because I used him at Move Objects On, and then I couldn't place him again in the same place, and I'm not sure what was happening there. So he glitched out, and so he disappears. I actually couldn't place anything on that. There's a random skeleton. I couldn't place anything on that area, so I'm not sure. And then I just gave up. Again, that should be the name of my channel. Dimes just gives up when she builds. I have a wreath there. I really wanted to deck out the bottom floor in holiday decorations. So I've put wreaths everywhere, and I didn't want to reuse the wreath too much. I've already got a wreath outside on the window and a wreath on the door. The wreath doesn't really sit on the door, and a wreath on the other window. And the wreath doesn't really sit on the front door very well. I noticed that when I was playtesting this lot, they kept just walking straight into the wreath, like going straight through it. Like the door would open, but the wreath would stay in the middle of the door, and they seemed to just walk through it. So I lifted the wreath up so it's above the door jamb now, and it's not on the door itself. But you guys can change that if you like, I suppose. As always, please don't re-upload this. This took me a really long time. If you look at the time it takes me just to decorate, I believe it takes me about 3 hours per floor. 2 to 3 hours. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and partly I'm just slow, but it's crappy to just re-upload this, guys. So please don't. As I say that, it's not going to be available in the gallery until part 3 is out, and part 3 is going to be the top floor. If you haven't seen part 1, you should totally check it out. That's the garden and the exterior of the house, so the layout and everything, and how I made the little gazebo that you saw there, and the floor plan of this Victorian themed home, complete with turret on the outside. So here I put a hutch there. Those hutches are very hard to fill with clutter. There's not enough game clutter, I think. A lot of the game clutter doesn't fit on certain slots. So you can see me like... I'm sorry if this is like too fast. I'm definitely jumping between stuff very, very quickly. I might need to slow that down next time. This is what I get for not like watching the video before I tape. the dialogue for it, or the narration. I think like as long as I'm doing like one room and it's like just the same kind of angle, it's fine. The problem is when I start skipping to 2-3 different rooms. That's a bit annoying. So now we're doing the bedroom, obviously. As I was doing this bedroom, I realized I wanted to make this ensuite, the bathroom that is like the blank room next to it's going to be a bathroom. I wanted to make it ensuite, and I forgot to put a joining door there, so I had to move everything around again. That's what happens. That's quality. This is quality builds from Dimes. That can be my new channel. Quality builds from Dimes. Now obviously I tried to use Victorian themed objects where possible. I didn't like follow, like I didn't like only pick Victorian things. The wallpaper in this one is a little bit more modern. Part of the reason is that the room is a little bit flowery already, so I wanted to make the wallpaper a little bit more plain, whereas in this particular room I felt like the flowery wallpaper really worked with the objects in the room. Even though the bed is still pretty flowery, it's not quite as in your face as the green bed. So the second bedroom on the bottom floor, this is actually a 5-bedroom house and a 3-bathroom house, one of the biggest ones I've done on a pretty small lot. Actually, this is a 40 by 30 lot. Not fantastic lot, but if you remember from my other video, I did mention that I've been having graphical issues. As I said, I got a new computer. It's not like a brand new top of the line one, but it has a decent graphics card, but certain things it struggles with, and I think it's just because it's a little bit old and you can't see it so much in this mode. I think on the next floor I start getting jagged edges quite a lot as I am decorating, especially on certain objects, so I apologize for that. Overall it runs much faster though, and it's a lot better, but might need to get a new graphics card, but we'll see. This is part of the reason why this was delayed. It's because I was messing around with the graphics quite a bit yesterday, and it pushed my videos back. I'm supposed to be doing 3 videos a week, 2 to 3. I don't want to be too optimistic because my builds take a really long time, guys. But yeah, 2 to 3 videos a week, and this unfortunately is a little bit late. And so I had to upload it very, very late at night for the US. It was early in the morning for me. I was fine. But yeah, obviously working on the bathroom. This is the last room of the bottom floor. Again, you guys will be able to see, I can speak, I can do this. You guys will be able to check out the next build that will be the top floor. So that's part 3, and that's going to be the end of my Victorian build. Here I go through the house slowly so you guys can see. There'll be screenshots at the end. If you liked this build, check out my other builds. I've got a bunch of them now. I've got like 9 videos, I think. So yeah, if you like this, check this out. If you like my channel and my rambly dialogue, yep, that's the word, then please like, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And if you didn't, sorry, I'll try harder next time. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys next time. Thank you so very much for watching. Bye, guys.